Modern Medical Imaging 2023. The progression of medical images being acquired and displayed goes from film to digital. This is a major change in the industry from analog to data or digital acquisition and display of medical images. The change from analog to digital allowed the computerization of the medical imaging data to be utilized with artificial intelligence. This process gave the radiologist a good tool for help in interpretation of the images and the technologists quick and easy steps in acquiring the images. The original storage and presentation of the images was done utilizing what was called a PACS system, which is a picture archival and communication system. The new name for PACS in radiology is MIMPS, which stands for Medical Imaging Management and Processing System. According to the FDA, the software components may provide advanced or complex imaging processing functions for image manipulation, enhancement, or quantification that are intended for use in the interpretation and the analysis of medical images. Each of the PACS systems initially installed was vendor-specific, and migration of data was extremely difficult and expensive. Also, a hospital system may have the same PACS system generically, but have different versions of the software, which made communication difficult if not impossible. This problem with PACS was overcome by utilizing a vendor-neutral archive. The main function of PACS was picture archival and communication of images. By changing the name from PACS to MIMPS, the FDA has mirrored the deletion or minimization of the archival portion of the system and enhanced the communication portion of the system. The data is still archived on the PACS, but most systems now use what's called a vendor-neutral archive. They basically subscribe to a service and export all of their data or migrate their data to a DICOM-based cloud service for storage. This allows organizations to integrate the viewing and storage of different health IT systems regardless of vendor restriction. Vendor-neutral archives are critical tools for storing medical imaging and making them accessible anytime, anywhere, and any place. Once the organizations migrate their data to a VNA, the VNA, or vendor-neutral archive, will manage all of the administrative updates, so migrating data in the future will be much more straightforward and there is less chance of a compatibility error. With standardization of the data, artificial intelligence was enabled to help the medical imaging community resolve some of the issues in volume and staff shortages that they're experiencing today. Radiographers must learn to work with AI, artificial intelligence, and embrace it and maximize the positive outcomes from this new technology. AI-enabled automation has affected different aspects of radiography and different modalities in varying degrees. This includes, but is not limited to, patient positioning, image acquisition, workflows, and reconstruction processes across modalities. AI is increasingly being integrated within radiography, and radiographers will increasingly be working with AI-based tools in the future. Artificial intelligence algorithms, particularly deep learning, have demonstrated remarkable progress in imaging recognition tasks. As we take a look at the graphic, you can see the difference between the early efforts, the current state, and what the future outlook is going to be. The driver between the emergence of AI in medical imaging has been the desire for greater efficiency and efficacy. Radiography is one of the most technically enabled disciplines in healthcare, producing a wealth of image data annually, and one where artificial intelligence is being increasingly implemented. Knowledgeable radiographers, especially those from the film screen era, understand that correct positioning and accurate settings of X-ray equipment are essential to capturing an image that will meet diagnostic requirements. However, executing these steps require precision and time, and even the most skilled radiographers can sometimes fail to obtain clinically viable results. In the old days of analog, knowledgeable radiographers had to keep all of the physics and technique requirements, plus how to utilize the equipment, in their mind and at their fingertips to work fast and accurately. In the analog days, radiographers also had to memorize and practice every position available to demonstrate pathology. Today, we have a technological aid that can be utilized even if the rest of our healthcare system is not upgraded to AI and the latest technology. The radiographer can download to their Apple or Android smartphones and tablets a radiographic positioning guide. This guide contains more than 220 radiographic positions described with detail and instructions and model and X-ray images of the positioning and the results. Technology. Who could believe for $24.99 you could actually download to your smartphone a super tool to be used in aiding you in positioning? From this point forward, we'll be looking at the utilization of modern X-ray equipment for the radiologic technologists, and we're going to look at the duties of the technologists today and the responsibilities. In this presentation, different vendors' equipment is highlighted. There is no identification or association with any of these vendors, but the concepts demonstrated in their marketing is applicable to the modern technology in the medical imaging department of today. Artificial intelligence is undoubtedly changing the roles of radiographers now and in the future, and it will be important for radiographers to be adaptable to and welcoming of the new technology, new skills, and new ways of working. Think about the image we just saw, and now take a look at radiographers at work back in the analog days. There are many types of artificial intelligence tools that can be utilized. One of the most important is one for positioning accuracy judgment. The AI detects the amount of deviation in key positioning points. This function supports decisions on whether you need to repeat a radiograph or not. It will judge your acquisition as acceptable, tolerable, or a repeat is needed. Although not technically perfect yet, the AI-assisted software can help radiographers in many ways. This includes patient positioning, improving image quality through technique selection, and reducing patient dose of ionizing radiation received. We used to use image intensifiers to be able to visualize the images that we're taking. Today, we have a system set up that uses a camera, a different type of camera, a 2D or 3D camera that is red, blue, green sensitive. These cameras are used in auto-positioning. They scan the patient and take in the data to allow the software to give information to the modality in how to position for the patient acquisition of information. This information is also used in calculating exposures and being able to set up a system of standardized protocols. A camera scans the patient, and this is utilized in auto-positioning. Auto-positioning utilizes AI to evaluate the overall patient position to ensure both equipment and patient positioning meet clinical examination requires for the exam selected. 2 red, green, and blue depth cameras collect information that is sent to a pose detection algorithm and a classifier. You remember from your schooling that the electromagnetic spectrum contains not only X-ray, but visible light. And visible light is made up of the spectrum red, blue, and green. With these cameras, we can do geometrical calibrations of X-ray imaging. Here we have some information for those who are interested in specifically how these cameras work. After calibration, equivalent points of interest can be easily identifiable with the help of epipolar geometry. The same procedure also allows the measurements of real anatomic lengths and angles obtained by the accurate 3D locations from the imaging points. The information collected by these scans enables the technologist to seamlessly perform exams, resulting in smooth operation, increased confidence, and maximum productivity. Using auto-positioning, specific studies can be programmed into the workstation of the X-ray room. Once a protocol is programmed, the correct position and angling of the X-ray equipment can be achieved with the push of a button. A seamlessly integrated AI component within the imaging workflow would increase efficiency, reduce errors, and achieve objectives with the minimal manual input being provided by the technologists. It's not like in the olden days when the technologists had no tools to help them make the acquisition and exposure, other than the X-ray equipment itself. Today, the X-ray equipment or modality actually contains a detailed patient work list, and it documents the acquisition status, including technique and hardware information. Here we can see an auto-positioning system made by General Electric. Compare the X-ray room's attributes to an old, standardized, manual film screen X-ray room. Using auto-position reduces workflow steps and actually the actions per step with a user-centered and easy-to-use features. The workflow helps reduce patient positioning time, physical workload, errors, and image retakes. There are different types of auto-positioning equipment available, including equipment that will do tomography and also orthopedics for long bone and spine imaging. The equipment will automatically position itself and take images as it scans along the patient's body for a complete spine series or long leg series, and then stitch the images together. The modern tomography system eliminates the old hooking up of the bucky and the overhead tube head with an awkward armature. Also, you don't have to adjust the fulcrum height for each cut. This is all done automatically for you. Obviously, there are different configurations for different types of equipment and uses that reflect your needs as a facility. You can use a completely automated system that is an overhead tube crane system, or you can have a floor-mounted system. Here we're going to look at some marketing by Siemens that demonstrates their auto-positioning system and protocols. It becomes apparent that there are many manufacturers and many types of different automated systems for auto positioning and utilization in your hospital or clinic, and you need to understand the specifications of each one of these types of systems before you purchase. You must also understand the capabilities of the systems and how they're programmed to help you do a better job when you're acquiring medical images. The auto-positioning cameras are attached either to the ceiling mount or on the collimator. Depending upon the type of equipment you utilize, the cameras may be mounted in different positions. All manufacturers basically use off-the-shelf cameras, 2D, 3D, RBG, with a push broom motion. They are not specifically designed for each manufacturer having its own criteria. Each manufacturer does have their own algorithms and software that feed off of the camera, and that is where the difference comes from. Let's take a look at the auto positioning system in motion and compare that to the old camera systems used in the 50s for doing chest screening for tuberculosis. Both of these technologies are state-of-the-art technology for the time period. Today's auto positioning system requires much fewer steps and it is much more efficient, whereas the older systems required a lot of manual work. The new technology has so much greater and enhanced capability both at the workstation and at the tube side working with the patient. There are quite a few numbers of tools that you can use. Each one is specific to the vendor who created the system or protocols. That does not mean that you're stuck with just a simple set of protocols. You can obviously take and do your own programming of different things that are specific for your department and create your own protocols. Here we can see the information unique to that patient and that exam, and even have a room for messages or notes. On the right-hand side of the screen, you can see that we have many tools and many options to choose from. Some of the basics would be contrast and brightness, and also automatic marker locations for left and right. Each of the tools enhances the productivity of the technologist and reduces the manual labor required in medical imaging. As you can see, you start with the manufacturer's version of unique automation of fast, simple, and safe workflows. The AI protocol-driven workflows are fast, safe, and simple, and designed to give you maximum quality no matter the patient or the staff. Beyond the standard protocols, there are customizable protocols for 60 configurations or more, dependent upon the manufacturer, that will allow you to create your own protocols for your type of imaging. The tailor-made modular system is designed to precisely meet your patient and case mix. Of course, you can always add more components in the future if your requirements change. Now let's take a look at Carestream and their image view software. Carestream's advanced smart features automate manual tasks and workflow steps to streamline processes, support technologist productivity, and save time and money, and also enhance patient care. Automated equipment positioning and patient pose verification optimizes efficiency for radiographers and speeds the workflow. Automated technique selection improves image consistency and supports radiation dose control, minimizing patient exposure. By optimizing the use of this system, it improves infection control through task automation capabilities, removing the radiographer from excess direct contact with potentially infectious patients. Here we see three different areas of the screen. Number one is the patient data, study data, and the different views. Number two is the image viewer and positioning aids. Finally, we see the tools, which are markers, image manipulation, processing tools, formatting tools, and workflow control tools. Each manufacturer provides a number of tools and different software to enable the radiographer to acquire the best quality images and optimize those images after acquisition. Remember, those same images can be read anywhere, any place, at any time once they've been stored on a vendor-neutral archive. Each of the protocols designed by each of the manufacturers is designed to give a quality image acquisition. Whether you're looking at a software adaptation such as smart positioning, or using the smart technique, which will set the technique that is proper for the patient size and also minimizing the amount of ionizing radiation and optimizing the quality of the image. Smart Technique uses the acquisition RGB camera to capture patient information and applies AI algorithms to detect patient thickness, shoulder width, and upper body height to calculate the patient's size. Then it automatically determines the exposure technique according to the patient's size, the area of interest, and diagnostic requirements. Combined with Smart Technique, we have Smart Collimation. So we're able to collimate from the control panel or from the tube head, whichever is easier. Radiographers, technologists, need to adapt to the modern way of providing X-ray services to both the physician, the hospital, and their department. Using artificial intelligence enhanced equipment and software makes the job more efficient and more effective. It also makes it less work. This is Mark Struthers saying thanks for watching and thanks for your attention.